Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? So, as I mentioned in our daily financial news, I was going to review New York City, which I've already done this morning, and Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee, I'm looking at because Anna Kelly, who is our expert and tremendous guest on Wednesday, talked about Nashville getting a little stretched, might be an issue. So I spent a bunch of time looking at information about Nashville, Tennessee, and I wanted to kind of answer the question. Is Nashville set to bust in 2021? Will it plateau or will it potentially go higher? So again, I got a full page of notes, 10 to 12 different resources, just to kind of share the actuals as of October, or October in most cases, a couple of November data points. And then I'll talk about where I think Nashville goes next year. So first and foremost, the latest statistics I have for Nashville is prices are up double digits, 10.2%. Sales volume is also up. It is up 17%. Supply. This is a big one. Supply is down 35%. Now, supply is active listings, so down 35%. And then there's also pending sales. So pending sales are actually up 22%. All of those metrics are year-on-year metrics. So prices up 10% year-on-year. Sales up 17% year-on-year. Supply down 35% year-on-year. That's going to be one we talk about a bunch going forward. And of course, pendings are up 22%. One of the things to know about Nashville, Tennessee, or Tennessee in general, if you do not know, is Tennessee, and thus Nashville, is one of 7 states that do not collect state income tax. Nevada and Florida get the most press, but yes, Tennessee is one of those 7 states. So one of the interesting variables that I captured in my research is Nashville specifically is one of the top 3 searched cities by out-of-state buyers. Think New York, California, other expensive, high-taxed areas. Nashville is in the top 3. Las Vegas is number 1. Again, a market we've talked about a bunch. So again, that's pretty interesting to see Nashville in the top 3. Nashville, relatively speaking, is inexpensive. The average single-family home in October of 2019 sold for $349,000. Let's call it $350 between friends. Condo, $245. Pretty good. I mean, even Vegas, a market that I cannot believe where it's at. I think the last number I got from Brian Lebo was like 383. So Vegas is more expensive than Nashville. October closings, 4,364. That's roughly 50,000 closings a year if you were just to annualize that. Basically 4 times 12, or 4,300 times 12. Demand is clearly outpacing supply with 1.2 months supply for single family homes. Average days on market, 40. Average price per square foot, $199, which is up 14.2% again year on year. It has been a solid long-term investment. It is consistently ranked in the top 5 for investment markets. The population actually surprised me. Nashville's only 600,000 people. I say only because Fresno City is about 600,000. Fresno County is 1 million. So I was surprised that Nashville wasn't bigger. Now, granted, I've only been to Nashville once or twice for conferences, so I didn't really get a chance to see the wonderful city. But yeah, that did surprise me. When you think about distressed inventory, most of you want to think foreclosures. So I did find that metric in Nashville. I think it will surprise you. 0.1% of homes are in foreclosure. There are exactly 66, not 666, 66, 66 homes in some state of foreclosure in Nashville, Tennessee. That is not going to be a glut of inventory. They actually estimate only 5.4% of all houses are underwater. Another thing I hear from a lot of YouTube entertainers is all of these forbearance requests are going to lead to foreclosures. Well, it's not going to happen if only 5.4% of the houses are underwater. It's just not. Another fact I caught was only 0.6 of all Nashville mortgages are delinquent. That's better than you expected. At least it was better than I expected. The other couple of things about Nashville that I think has going for it is the average Nashville resident is 33 years old. So millennials. 40% of them are college educated. 65.6 own a home. 43% are married. And then lastly, for me as a landlord, the average rent is $1,400. So again, all of these stats kind of give you a pulse of what's going on in Nashville. Now let's talk about what I see coming in 2021. I see nothing in these Nashville statistics that are going to make demand shrink. In fact, I think demand goes up. Out-of-state folks are going to no state tax like Tennessee. It's going to attract more and more millennials. If millennials are already in Nashville at the average age of 33, their friends are going to flock. That's what happens in communities is once the first movers come, others follow. Nashville is going to be a hub for millennials. Nashville is a diverse economy, unlike Vegas, which is suffering from tourism drop. Nashville is a very robust economy. Average income is over $60,000 a year. So there's a lot of very good things going on. In addition to that, building is not keeping pace. New builds not keeping pace, which means the existing homes have to rise. So in the end, I do not see housing in Nashville declining at all. I believe single family homes and condos will continue to appreciate. I do believe, just like we talked about in Phoenix, as prices rise, they will become unaffordable and rents will rise behind them. So while prices may go from $349 to $379 to $399 over a couple of years, rents will follow. It'll be a tailwind. So rents could easily go from the average, where is it, of $1,400 to $1,500 to $1,600. So in essence, I think Nashville is a hot market. I think it will be tough to find deals. I do think when 2021 comes around that just like all markets, we may see a rise in inventory, and inventory is what we are missing. I believe there will be some move-up buyers. I believe there will be some folks in Nashville that decide to move. But in the end, I think Tennessee, Nashville specifically, has a lot going for it. I do not see any setup that says bust is ahead. I think Vegas is going to be a bust. I think New York, as I said earlier today, is putting in a bottom. I think San Francisco is screaming lower. I think Phoenix is going to go up. I think Nashville goes up. Again, as I've shared many times, I think most of the country, single-family homes will appreciate next year. There will not be a 30 to 40% drop like some of these folks are talking. Numbers don't support it. So that's what I have for you today. So we've done San Francisco, Vegas, New York, Orlando, Phoenix, and now Nashville. So at the end, take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.